Welcome back to another Just Tap Sunday session, a new series that I'm starting on the podcast where every Sunday we're going to get out of our minds and drop into our body through the power of EFT tapping to really transcend any of these negative feelings, the fears that are holding us back from truly showing up the way that we want to show up in our life and business. Last week, I did my first session. If you joined me then and you're back again now, welcome back. I'm really so grateful to have you join me in on this. Today, we're going to tap to release the fear of imperfection that may be preventing us from truly showing up as our bold and authentic selves in our business and our life. If you tuned into the podcast that I dropped on Wednesday, I talked all about the fear of imperfection and the 5 core fears that are at the root of perfectionism. And I also shared how perfectionism was very real in my life, specifically in releasing this Sunday series on the podcast. And so if you haven't tuned into it yet and you do feel like perfectionism is something that you struggle with, then I highly recommend that you go and check out that episode to hear my experience and different perspective shifts on how we can really start to reframe our fear of imperfection. All right, before we jump into today's session, I want to remind you that we are going to be using our hands during this practice to tap on specific meridian points throughout our face and our body. If you would like more information on what EFT tapping is, I've included a resource page on my website and I've put the link in the show notes of this episode so that you can go and learn more about it. This is a video-based podcast, so if you're listening to this on Apple Music or Amazon Music or any other audio-based podcast platform, just know that if you would like to see me on video and really walk you through the tapping points so you know exactly where they are, then this podcast can be viewed on Spotify and on YouTube. Ensure that you are hands-free right now so that you could follow through the sequence with us. But if for some reason you aren't, if you're driving or your hands are preoccupied and you can't tap with us, these powerful I am affirmation statements that I'm going to share are going to be enough to experience a shift. And so I encourage you to stay with me anyways, and you can listen in. And if you do enjoy this, then start this episode and come back to it at a later time when you can tap through the sequence with me to really experience the energy shift that it can provide. All right, let's hop into it. I invite you now to take a deep belly breath in. And on your exhale, bring your awareness to your heart center and take a moment to tune into how much you feel consumed by the fear of imperfection. How much does perfectionism prevent you from showing up in your life and in your business? And if you had to rate this intensity on a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being perfectionism doesn't show up at all, it is truly a non-issue for you, and 10 being it feels so heavy, it feels like you've been wearing a mask for so long, you were so consumed in this fear that it feels paralyzing. Once you've gotten that number, we're going to start tapping on the side of our hand with our affirmation statements. You can repeat after me out loud or in your head. Even though I feel paralyzed by the fear of imperfection, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've let perfectionism prevent me from being seen, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Even though I've been holding myself to impossible standards to avoid judgment, I deeply and completely love and accept myself. Moving to the top of the head. I feel so pressured to get it all right. Eyebrow point. I feel stuck in the fear of messing it all up. Side of the eye. Perfectionism has been my protection for so long. Under the eye, I worry that if I don't appear perfect, I'll be judged or rejected. Under the nose, this perfectionism has been my way of avoiding being judged, rejected, or misunderstood. The chin, part of me is afraid to be seen as flawed. Collarbone, but all of this fear is starting to feel heavy and overwhelming in my body. Under the arm, I now recognize that this fear has started a long time ago. The wrist, and I'm ready to honor that part of me that just wanted to keep me safe. Moving back to the top of the head for our last round. I give myself permission to take up space with confidence. Eyebrow point. I am worthy of love and success without needing to be perfect. Side of the eye. My voice matters just as it is. Under the eye. I am free to express who I truly am. Under the nose, I trust that the right people will connect with the real me. The chin, I am grounded in self-worth and purpose. Collarbone, each step forward is a celebration of my courage. Under the arm, I choose to move with grace, trust, and creative freedom. And the wrist, I am safe to be fully seen and beautifully imperfect. When you're ready, you can release. Take a deep breath in. And on your exhale, bring your awareness back to your heart center, back to the scale that you'd set at the beginning of this tapping meditation. And where does your fear of imperfection fall now? Hopefully, it has gotten closer to 0 on the scale, to the point where it's almost unnoticeable for you, or it is unnoticeable for you, and you are totally confident in showing up and being seen as flawed if that's the way people are going to see you, because you know that your authentic self is magnetic. If you aren't quite there yet, then I invite you to redo this tapping meditation. There really is no maximum to which we can do this. Really just do it until you feel like you've shifted the energy enough to gain that confidence to continue to show up. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this resonated with you. And if it did, and you know of someone else who can benefit from this EFT session, then please share it with them so that others could experience the beautiful power and benefits of the emotional freedom techniques. And also, if you would like to give your input on what next week's tapping session is going to be on, then I invite you to join my private Facebook group. Every Tuesday, I share a poll in the group so that collectively we can decide what it is that we're facing right now, what kind of fear, what kind of block that we're facing, so that on Sundays we can tap to release it. So I've included the link in the show notes to join that Facebook group, and I can't wait to see you in there. Thanks so much again for being here with me today, and have an amazing week ahead. We'll talk soon.